The first time I saw her, she wasn't wearing a crown or royal robes. She was wearing a cracked exosuit with alien symbols etched along the joints, her silver blue skin dimly glowing beneath the fractured helmet glass. The emergency lights of the wrecked ship painted her in streaks of crimson and gold as she stood among the ruins of what looked like a royal cruiser. I remember thinking she looked both terrifying and heartbreakingly fragile. "My name's Captain Darius Venn, commander of the salvage vessel Orion's Ghost. I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near that derelict. The system was off limits, imperial territory belonging to the Zalari Dominion. But the beacon signal pulsing from the debris belt had promised something big. An ancient ship, maybe, or a lost transport worth millions in scrap. What I found instead was her. When I broke through the airlock, blaster drawn, she turned those liquid silver eyes toward me and said in near-perfect English, "You are not my enemies." Then she collapsed. The beginning, the princess of Zalera. I brought her aboard my ship against every instinct screaming that this was trouble. Her body was humanoid but different. Luminescent veins, soft metallic skin, a pulse that flickered like a weak electrical current. The med bay scanners couldn't even classify her blood. I didn't know who she was until she woke up. Her name was Princess Awry of the Zalari Dominion, heir to the most powerful empire in the Outer Rim. She told me her cruiser had been sabotaged. An assassination attempt. Her entire escort fleet destroyed. She was the last survivor, floating in the dark until I found her. "You saved a princess," my engineer Kira had whispered wide-eyed. "That's either a death sentence or a miracle." Turned out it was both. Sarai was different from the usual royals you heard about in spacer rumors. She was curious, almost naive about human customs, but sharp enough to spot when I lied about something. She moved with a kind of grace that made everyone in the room feel clumsy. And she had this way of asking questions that made me feel like the universe itself was new again. "Humans hide pain with humor," she said one evening, watching me fix a broken conduit. "That is strange. But I think it's beautiful." I shrugged, trying not to look at her. "We hide a lot of things." She tilted her head. "Then you must be hiding something from me too, Captain Venn." She wasn't wrong. The middle, running from stars and shadows. 2 days later, the Orion's Ghost was hunted. The Dominion wanted their princess back. Or maybe they wanted her dead before she could expose whoever tried to kill her. Either way, every sensor ping from the Outer Rim made my stomach twist. We burned through asteroid fields and drifted on silent mode through nebula storms. The engines howled, the shields cracked, and through it all, Sarai stayed calm, as if she'd seen 1,000 chases like this before. One night, as the stars slid by outside viewport, she stood beside me in the cockpit, her reflection glowing faintly in the glass. "Why do you help me?" she asked softly. "You know what it means to harbor me." I thought about lying, but something about her voice stopped me. "Because I couldn't just leave you there," I said. "And because you looked like you didn't want to die alone." Her eyes shimmered like liquid mercury. "No one ever spoke to me like that. In my world, kindness is often a transaction." Chuckled. "You'll find we humans are unpredictable traders." That's when she smiled. A real, unguarded smile that made my chest tighten painfully. "You'd make a good husband," she said out of nowhere. I nearly choked. "Excuse me. It's a compliment among my people," she explained, utterly serious. "Someone who shows courage and empathy is considered a desirable mate." I tried to laugh it off, but something about her tone made my throat dry. For the rest of that night, I couldn't look at her without feeling something dangerously close to longing. The betrayal. We found refuge on Erivo's station, a lawless trade outpost orbiting a dead moon. I thought we were safe there, until the bounty hunters arrived. A squad of them armed with Dominion tech. Someone had betrayed us. We fought our way through the cargo bays, blasters echoing through the metallic corridors. I remember Sarai grabbing a weapon from one of the fallen hunters, moving like she'd been trained since birth. Energy bolts flashed past as she covered me, her expression fierce and radiant. When the last of them fell, I turned to her, breathing hard. "You fight like a soldier." She looked away. "A princess in my world is trained to kill before she learns to rule." Her words hung heavy between us. The more I learned about her, the more the walls around my heart started to crumble. She wasn't just some distant royal. She was someone who'd lost everything, someone like me. Later that night, as we hid among the smuggler decks, she reached for my hand. "If we survive this," she whispered, "come with me to Zalera. I'll make sure they know your name." I pulled my hand away, though it nearly broke me. "I'm not built for palaces or thrones, Sarai. I'm just a man who fixes broken things." She looked at me for a long moment. "Then fix me, Darius." The truth. When we finally reached the edge of Dominion space, I planned to drop her at a neutral station and disappear. But fate, as always, had other ideas. A transmission came through, a Dominion warship demanding surrender. But the voice on the comm wasn't a soldier's. It was her cousin, Lord Kale, the man who'd ordered her assassination. "You should have let her die, human," Kale sneered through the holofeed. "You think she loves you. She's using you to reclaim power. Once she returns, you'll be nothing but a liability." Sarai's face went pale. "Kale, please. Silence, cousin. You were never meant to rule." The transmission cut off. We were already locked in their tractor beam. Could have escaped alone. The emergency pods had a narrow chance of slipping away. But Sarai. She didn't run. She stood by the airlock, holding the detonator to the reactor core. "They'll never take me alive," she said quietly. "But you can still go." I grabbed her wrist. "No. We'll find another way." She looked up at me, tears glinting like stars. "Why must humans always hope, even when the universe gives them none?" "Because without hope," I said, "we're just drifting." Something broke in her then. She dropped the detonator and kissed me. Soft, electric, alien. For a heartbeat, the galaxy vanished. Stars remember. We didn't die that day. The Orion's ghost took a beating, but Kira rerouted the engines through a wormhole field Kale hadn't anticipated. We escaped barely. The explosion of his warship lit the void like a dying sun. Sarai never returned to Zalera. Her people believed her dead. She chose exile, life among humans, far from the empire that betrayed her. We rebuilt the ship together, drifting from one star to another, always a step ahead of the past. Sometimes, when the night is quiet and the stars hum against Hull, she stands beside me again, watching the endless black. "Do you regret it?" she asks. "Saving me?" "Not for a second," I tell her. She smiles that same impossible smile. "Then perhaps I was right." "About what?" "That you'd make a good husband." I laugh because even after everything, she can still make my heart race like the first day I saw her in the ruins of that ship. And somewhere, out in the great unknown, the stars keep our secret. The story of a broken captain and the alien princess who taught him that love can survive even the coldest void.